we are hearing introduction to SRIMAD BHAGAVATAM. We heard when Mahaprabhu came to Prayag. There he met Rupa Goswami and also Ballabhata and we heard then that he told him there are innumerable living entities in 8,400,000 species. He taught him about the human species. Out of them he discussed the followers of the Vedic principles. They are only saying we are following but not practically doing. Out of them the fruitive workers, karmis, they are also very rare. Though karmis means in the sense those who are following prescriptions of the Vedas, doing work. Not just doing work and enjoying any kind of work you like or cheating or whatever and getting result, fruitive activity. No, this is according to scriptural injunctions, many rules there in Varna, Ashram, Dharma. What is sinful, what is not, what you have to do all. Out of them the empiric philosophers, Gyanis, and out of them the liberated souls. He said that there are only a few who are actually pure devotees of Lord Shri Krishna. If you want quantity, you cannot get quality. If you want quality, you cannot get quantity in this world. Higher the class, lesser the students. So Krishna Bhakti is highest. And there are very few who are accepting this. Srila Rupa Goswami was the younger brother of Sanatana Goswami, and when he retired from service, he brought with him 2 boatfuls of gold coins. This means that he brought with him some hundreds of thousands of rupees accumulated by the labor of his service. And before leaving home for Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he divided the wealth as follows: 50% for the service of the Lord and his devotees, 25% for relatives, and 25% for his personal needs in case of emergency. In that way, he set an example for all householders. The Lord taught the Goswami about devotional service, comparing it to a creeper, and advised him to protect the bhakti creeper most carefully against the mad elephant offense against the pure devotees. Here, the point is not about the percentage, but that it has to be given to all these 3. If, for example, I have certain amount of salary, if I give half for the Brahmins, Vaishnavas temple, and that another half does not meet my personal needs and the needs of family members, relatives, then it is wrong to give 50%. He had so much money. We cannot imagine how much money he had. So if he gave 50%, still another 50, he divided into 25%. That was enough to meet the needs of these 2. But if it is not in my case, then it is wrong, because first one has to, there is 8 limbs of sadhana bhakti. First one has to meet his own needs, not too much, not too less, in order to be able to do bhajan. Then, if there is any surplus money, then you can offer for the service of ascetics, but not in the sense that you will offer to ascetics because it is said 50% and then you will be disturbed because we are not liberated soul. That is not the purpose. Purpose is that one has to divide the income in such a way that it is favorable for devotion. All Shastra we have to understand, and all the examples we have to understand in the spirit, not in the form, but in the spirit. What is the purpose? Then we have to apply according to the purpose, not according to imitation. Our Gurudev many times said, one thing is imitation, another thing is following. Unless you know the purpose, you are unable to follow. And by imitation, you will not get the actual fruit, even you may harm yourself. Our Gurudev used to give that example that once one person in India, he was selling caps for head caps, and he was walking on the street and he was shouting, good caps, anyone wants to buy good cap, like this. So one day it happened that whole day he could not sell any cap. So, and he was also tired and hungry, so he went under one tree and took prasad or food if he was not devotee. Then he took some rest and one cap was on his head and that basket of caps was beside him. So while he was sleeping, some monkeys came and they took all the caps from his basket and putting on their head, and they were jumping on the tree, very happy with caps. So he woke up, then he saw that he was not able to sell any cap that day, and also he saw all the monkeys, they took all the caps. So he became angry, disappointed, and he took his own cap and shouting at the monkeys said, why you didn't take this cap also? And he threw it on the ground. When he threw it on the ground, then also all the monkeys on the tree, they threw it on the ground. Why? Because they don't know the purpose of wearing cap. They were just imitating that person is having cap, so let us also have cap. When that person threw off the cap, they also threw off because they don't know the purpose. So like that, we are not to imitate sadhus. Sadhu is walking like this, so I will also walk like this. Sadhu is speaking in this way, I will also speak in this way. Sadhu is eating in this way, I will also external imitation. That is not following sadhu. We have to know what is the purpose of sadhu. Sadhu is serving Krishna. So that purpose we have to follow means we have to do what is our service to Krishna. That will be following sadhu. That is why Gurudev also said that mere physical proximity, nearness with the sadhu does not constitute or mean sadhu sangha. And he gave another example. When our Gurudev joined the Math in the beginning in Chaitanya Math, then he said he saw one old Babaji Maharaj, Gokul Das Babaji Maharaj. He was very old Vaishnava, and he also had connection with Gorkishore Das Babaji Maharaj before, when he was still living. So Gokul Das Babaji Maharaj was Paramahansa Babaji fully realized he was not in this world, he would always chant Harinam all the time. And Gurudev said once he saw him, he was lying on the bed and he was chanting Harinam. And there were so many bed bugs, those in India which are there, they were in that bed and they were on the body of Babaji Maharaj. Very near, physically very near to Sadhu. But are they getting Sadhu Sangha? No. Why? Because Babaji Maharaj, he is thinking about how to serve Krishna. Or he's serving Krishna all the time. That is his thinking. But what is the thinking of the bugs? How to suck the blood of the body of Babaji Maharaj. So although they are physically very near, but they are not getting Sadhu Sangha. But one may be physically very far away, but if he is following the thought of a sadhu, in Sanskrit it is sadhur chitta vritti anugamam. You have to follow sadhu's heart tendency, chitta vritti. What is his tendency? What is his inclination? Is to serve Krishna. We have to follow this according to our service. Then we are actually getting sadhu sangha, not by mere physical nearness or by mere imitation of sadhu. Then we cannot get actual result. Another example is there in Shastra. Dhruva Maharaj saw his Gurudev only once in his life, at the time of initiation and giving instruction. After that, he never saw him again. But he got full perfection, love of God. Why? Because he fully completely followed the instructions of his Guru. So merely staying near Sadhu or imitating him, we cannot get the actual result. So someone may earn very little money and he will think half of it, and he's not liberated soul, half of it I have to give to temple. And also you have to be careful that you give to the right temple or right person who will actually use it for the service of Krishna. There are many cheaters also, they will use for their own selfish purposes. So, and now he does not have for his own food. Then how he will do bhajan? So the purpose is, what is the purpose? We are to earn wealth in such a way that it is favorable for the service of Krishna, and also spend money or give money in such a way that it is favorable for the service of Krishna in my circumstance. So under the guidance of Guru, always I have to pray his grace, I should do all my practices, not merely imitating. Who can imitate Dhruva Maharaj? He's in Satya Yuga. How we can do that? Also, we cannot imitate Haridas Thakur. But we have to follow them. Follow the principle according to our step, stage and everything, under the guidance of experienced, realized soul, who will give appropriate instruction. That is why Gurudev told that Guru should be realized soul, because only then he will be able to give instruction to disciple according to his situation, because not all advice will be applicable to all persons at all times. It is not one size fits all. But realized Guru, he is experienced in all tattva, sambandha, videya, prayojana, and he has pure heart, and he can, that the mind or the heart of a disciple will be reflected in Guru's pure heart. He can directly see what is going on, what is the stage of this person, and he can give appropriate advice which will be beneficial for his upliftment, so that disciple will be able to accept it. If he gives something which is too much for him to follow, then he will be discouraged. He will not be able to accept and give up everything. So all these are to be considered when applying Bhakti Yoga. That is why once Gurudev told me, all devotional practices, they have to be done under the guidance of pure devotee. Otherwise, if you are doing whimsically, according to your own imagination and liking and like this, then you may commit harm also. It is like if you go to medical store and like try to pick up your own medicines, not knowing what is your disease, which medicine is proper for which disease, but you are picking because this is all good. So we are saying, yes, it is all in the Vedas, so Vedas are good, so I will just take. That is not correct. Depends on time. What is for Satya Yuga is not for Kali Yuga. And what is for this stage is not for another stage. There are so many things to be considered. So in this way, he set an example for all householders in purpose, not in form, in purpose, that one has to properly earn and also spend money for the service of Krishna. One time, one devotee asked our Gurudev, means requested him. He said, you please bless me that I may get very good job. I will earn much money, and then I can make festivals for Vaishnavas, Prasad and this I want to make. Then Guru said there is no any such injunction in the Shastra for this, no any such sadhana forum. He said that let me know that there is no any such injunction. If there is more money someone has, then he can offer for the service. But there is no any injunction that you have to earn much money first so that you can then give. Then that devotee said, but it would please me very much. It would emphasize, he said, it would please me very much. But the point is, it is not about our selfish pleasure. I will think I am very good devotee. I am offering so much for the service of the Vaishnavas like this. We have to do seva as is given to us for the service, for the satisfaction of Krishna, not what is satisfying for our own senses. So Gurudev says, if someone has naturally by past karma or some this circumstance, he has much money like Sanatana Goswami had, Rupa Goswami had, then they can offer. But if someone does not have, there is no injunction that he has to earn now a lot of money so that he can give a lot of money to please himself. That is not the purpose. We have to submit to bona fide Guru and serve Krishna as he likes for his satisfaction. That will be given by Guru for pure devotee. We cannot take by ourselves for our enjoyment. Then we will have trouble doing that. the Lord taught the Goswami, means Rupa Goswami, about devotional service, comparing it to a creeper, and advised him to protect the bhakti creeper most carefully against the mad elephant offense against the pure devotees. You will find also in the life of Raghunath Das Goswami. Raghunath Das Goswami wanted to renounce house and immediately go with Mahaprabhu to travel with him for preaching and to stay with him. But Mahaprabhu said, no, now this is not for you. You are not eligible. There are so many things in our heart. So we are not able to adopt the life of ascetic if we are not on that platform. Ascetics, they have particular lifestyle because they are having certain spiritual realization and taste. This is same. If I don't have that level of spiritual realization and taste, how I can live like them only externally? One time, like Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, who is able to do like that? Stay under tree each night, under another tree, begging little here and there, only one cloth. And whole day they are doing bhajan. And they are happy. One time it happened in Navadip. One person came and stayed near Gorkishore Das Babaji Maharaj, like he also renounced the world, and he was externally behaving like Gorkishore Das Babaji Maharaj, everything like doing. Gorkishore Das Babaji did not say anything, but he knows everything. So this went on for some time. Then after some time that person could not remain and left back to his house or something. Then Babaji Maharaj told to his followers, if one lady imitates the sounds of a lady who is now giving birth to a child, like those sounds of pain, if one lady is imitating those sounds, that will not produce the child. There are many things necessary before that. That child will come. Not only you will make that same sound, and it will be same. So like that, Gorkishore Das Babaji Maharaj, even when he was married, household, he was in bhajan very much. Then by Krishna's will, his wife died, means left body, went to another place in as soul. So Babaji Maharaj then went to Vrindavan and was fully in bhajan, 30 years. Intense bhajan and natural renunciation. Then Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj told him, when the birthplace of Mahaprabhu was recovered in Mayapur, then he told him, you stay now in Navadip, because that time Navadip would reveal himself more and more externally also by Bhaktivinoda Thakur and Jagannath Das Babaji. Dham is eternal, can never be covered. Those who have transcendental eyes, they can see. But that time this pastime came that also externally that was being revealed again. So Gorkishore Das Babaji Maharaj was in Paramahansa stage. He is all the time tasting complete ambrosia of chanting Harinam, serving Krishna. Pratipadank Purnamrita Svadanam. So his renunciation was natural. It is not difficult for him, and it is not artificial, and it is not temporary, and it is not for some other name and fame, prestige purposes. So, if I am not having that type of spiritual realization, if I try to adopt that lifestyle of him externally, then this was the case. What happened? And Gorkishore Das Babaji Maharaj told, the lady cannot give birth by imitating that sound. How this is possible? So Mahaprabhu told to Raghunath Das Goswami, it is not possible for you now. Krishna and Gurudev, they know our heart. So he told him, you go back to home, you do all the Varna Ashram like all other, and internally you worship Krishna. Then gradually you will be able to come out from the house. It is not all of a sudden. There are many stages. And then, even then, after when he came to Puri, first he was living in certain lifestyle. You remember, first Mahaprabhu told him, you go to house that is beneficial for you, and you do bhajan. Then when he escaped from house and came to Mahaprabhu, then Mahaprabhu said, yes, Krishna rescued you from that pit of stool that was very bad. He rescued you now. So then Raghunath Das Goswami was staying in Puri and was having certain lifestyle. Mahaprabhu would say, yes, very good. Then after some time that changed. Then Mahaprabhu said, yes, that was very bad. Now this is good. And then again, after some time changed. Then Mahaprabhu said, yes, that was very bad. This is good, like this. So according to level of advancement, there is different practice. So it is not the same for all. That is why we need guidance from expert. Who can see clearly everything. Otherwise we'll commit mistake. If we are too much self-confident and also we want to fulfill some of our own desires, then we'll also have to get lesson for that. So one has to protect Bhakti Creeper against the mad elephant offense against the pure devotees. If you commit offense to pure devotee, then it will act like mad elephant who will destroy that creeper of devotion. In addition, the creeper has to be protected from the desires of sense enjoyment, monistic liberation, and perfection of the Hatha Yoga system. They are all detrimental on the path of devotional service. Similarly, violence against living beings and desire for worldly gain, worldly reception, and worldly fame are all detrimental to the progress of bhakti or Bhagavat Dharma. If we water with Shravan Kirtan these desires, then creeper cannot grow. So we have to water at the creeper, means we have to serve Krishna for his satisfaction, not to fulfill some other desires. For that we need the company of pure devotees to inspire us in that direction. Pure devotional service must be freed from all desires for sense gratification, fruitive aspirations, and culture of monistic knowledge. We will hear later in Bhagavatam that Sobari Rishi he would do Gyan meditation, impersonal Brahman, for 10,000 years. Then he saw fishes in the water. He was doing bhajan in the water, under the water. He saw fishes having sex there. Then that desire came to him. I also want. Then he came out, and he was very ugly because he was so long time in water, and he was also very old. But he did not notice that. He came to King Mandata and said, I want to marry your daughter. So King Mandata was afraid to displease Sadhu, maybe he will curse me. At the same time, he did not want to displease his daughters. He has attachment. So then he said, yes, if any chooses you, then it is okay. Then Saubhari Rishi immediately understood there is something, why he's saying like this. Then he understood, oh. Then he checked his body and he saw, I'm very ugly. Due to so much tapasya and old age and underwater, skin became very, that like frog. So then by his yogic power, he became very handsome, beautiful. Then all 50 daughters, they wanted to marry him. All 50, not only one, all 50. And by his yogic power, he erected 50 palaces with all the opulences and rooms and bedrooms and everything. 50. And he would enjoy full enjoyment with 50 in all facilities. We cannot have such facilities as he made himself. But he, after some time, understood this is not the way. I was having spiritual life and I went for this. This is not proper. Of course, there is also another reason. He committed offense to Garuda, so he could not get devotion to Krishna, this mad elephant toe. But then he understood. So then he became devotee, and then he was happy. His all wives also followed him. They became devotees of Krishna. They became happy. They were not happy by that sense enjoyment. Here it says, all desires for sense gratification. And Dhruva, after getting Narayan, he forgot all other desires. And he was regretting why I desired it. Now I have to get those desires. He was regretting. So we have to learn from these examples. And another is the Jajati Maharaj. That is that whole story. I don't want to tell the whole. Devayani and Sarmishta, two ladies. So ultimately he got the Jajati Maharaj. That is very nice Bhagavatam history. He got two ladies and produced children, and with the daughter of Shukracharya. Shukracharya cursed him that you will be old, and he even cut off that male organ. Then Jajati Maharaj said, but this is curse for your daughter also, because she cannot fulfill her desires. Devayani. Then Shukracharya thought, yes, okay, then if any of your sons want to exchange youth with your old age, then you can enjoy. he went to his sons, but sons were also selfish. They did not want to serve father. They said, no, how I will enjoy them if I will have old body? So they were also interested in enjoyment, so they did not want. But the youngest one, Puru, he was righteous. He served his father. He said, yes, you can take. Then Jajati Maharaj was very young, full power and everything. And with Devayani, he was king. As much wealth and facilities, everything. No lack of anything for sense enjoyment. For 1000 years, he was full time enjoying all the time. Full time. And full extent. 1000 years. Not 1-2 days or 3. Then someone will complain, yes, because not enough. No, 1000 years. Then he came to his senses. This is not the procedure. Now I realized. Trying to fulfill lust by sense enjoyment is, we got from Gurudev that email today or yesterday. That email came with his verse. It is like putting ghee on fire. You cannot stop the fire, extinguish the fire by putting ghee on fire. The fire will only increase. That is not the proper procedure. He realized this. My lust was not pacified. It increased. And my happiness did not increase. My suffering increased. So this is not the real process. Then he fully surrendered to Krishna, became devotee, became happy. Then he also explained to his wife, Devayani, by this some example of she-goat and he-goat, his own case. He explained, and she understood that he's speaking about him and her. Then she also became devotee, Krishna devotee, and then they could get real happiness. That is not the real procedure. We are under the influence of illusion. We think that is possible, but it is not possible. So pure devotional service must be freed from all desires for sense gratification, fruitive aspirations, and culture of monistic knowledge. One must be freed from all kinds of designations, and when one is thus converted to transcendental purity, one can then serve the Lord by purified senses. This is that verse, Sarvopadi Vinirmuktam. One has to be free from all material designations, and converted to transcendental purity means Tat Paratana Nirmalam. I belong to Krishna. I am of him. And then one can serve Krishna with purified senses. Means senses which are engaged in the service of Krishna. They are purified senses. Means properly engaged. Purity is there. Because that is natural. Because Krishna is Hrishikesh, master of the senses, so it is natural that all senses should be engaged in his service. What is natural is pure. As long as there is desire to enjoy sensually, or to become one with the Supreme, or to possess the mystic powers, there is no question of attaining the stage of pure devotional service. Devotional service is conducted under two categories, namely primary practice and spontaneous emotion. when one can rise to the platform of spontaneous emotion, he can make further progress by spiritual attachment, feeling, love, and many higher stages of devotional life for which there are no English words. Spontaneous comes at the stage of ruchi. Then you can start practicing raganuga. So one who is not on spontaneous attraction, spontaneous engagement, attraction, all this, how he can adopt the style of a raganuga practitioner lifestyle? It is not possible. How he will meditate all this? His mind is impure and he is after so many desires. So how he can practice raganuga sadhana if he is not eligible for that? He has to practice regulated devotional service under the guidance of bona fide guru to detach himself from worldly attraction and to engage himself in the service of Krishna and awaken that spontaneous attraction when heart is purified. Then he can do that, not before that. Yes, Jiva Goswami also said that if someone by the company of real Raganuga devotee gets interest in Raganuga, although he is not on the platform of Rag, spontaneous attraction, he may do Raganuga as per his eligibility and along with Vaidhi Bhakti together, not without. If without, then he cannot progress. Just by that Raganuga sadhana, internal Raganuga sadhana, neglecting all the rules, and he is not purified, so he will not be able to remain or progress in that way unless he also does Vaidhi externally, what is necessary for him under the guidance of Guru and Shastra. Then, after Raganuga sadhana, then he will come to attachment, spiritual attachment, that is asakti, then feeling, that is bhav, then love, that is prema, and prema has many stages. That rag, anurag, pranaya, sneha, all those stages. Rag, anurag, bhav, mahabhav, all those stages. So for those, there are no English words. Sneha, mana, pranaya, raga, anuraga, bhav, maha. I like it, something like this. I would have to see in the book. We have tried to explain the science of devotional service in our book, The Nectar of Devotion, based on the authority of Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu by Srila Rupa Goswami. Transcendental devotional service has 5 stages of reciprocation. 1. The self-realization stage just after liberation from material bondage is called the Shanta, or neutral stage. After that, when there is development of transcendental knowledge of the Lord's internal opulences, the devotee engages himself in the Dasya stage. By further development of the Dasya stage, a respectful fraternity with the Lord develops, and above that, a feeling of friendship on equal terms becomes manifest. Both these stages are called the Sakya stage, or devotional service in friendship. Above this is the stage of parental affection toward the Lord, and this is called the Vatsalya stage. And above this is the stage of conjugal love, and this stage is called the highest stage of love of God. Shanta, to attain this stage of Shanta Rasa is not easy. That quality is there, Krishna Nishta Trishna Tyag. Full attachment to Krishna and no any other desires. Admiration, adoration of Krishna, like Dhruva Maharaj. There is no practical service yet, but full adoration and no other desires. Then if you add, Prahlad Maharaj was also only doing smaran of Bhagavan, not practical service. If you add practical service like Hanuman, then that is this plus this. Then Sakya Rasa is this plus something more, like this. It is going on. It is not that you will just, because you wish, you will just jump, yes, I will be Gopi. That is not possible by thinking only. You have to develop that service to Krishna through all these stages of purification of all anarthas and dedication to Krishna, and then that dedication is becoming more and more intense. Then you can come, not just you are, yes, I'm a Gopi, because that is highest. So, and here, highest stage of love of God, the conjugal, although there is no difference in quality in any of the above stages, means all are, that same is there, all are serving Krishna for his satisfaction. That quality is there. Quantity of service may be different, but this quality that they are doing only for the service of Krishna, that is present in all. The last stage of conjugal love of God is called the Madhurja stage. Thus he instructed Rupa Goswami in devotional science and deputed him to Vrindavan to excavate the lost sites of the transcendental pastimes of the Lord. After this, the Lord returned to Varanasi and delivered the sannyasis and instructed the elder brother of Rupa Goswami, means Sanatana Goswami. We have already discussed this. The Lord left only 8 shlokas of his instructions in writing, and they are known as the Shikastaka. All other literatures of his divine cult were extensively written by the Lord's principal followers, the 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan and their followers. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, Baladev Vidyabhushan Bhaktivinoda Thakur, they are followers of the Goswamis. They also wrote about the pure teaching of Mahaprabhu, Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami, Narottam Thakur, all. The cult of Chaitanya philosophy is richer than any other, and it is admitted to be the living religion of the day, with the potency for spreading as Vishwadharma, or universal religion, or worldly religion. Vishwadharma means world religion, not worldly, but world means, or global, all over the world. Then we are glad that the matter has been taken up by some enthusiastic sages like Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj and his disciples. We shall eagerly wait for the happy days of Bhagavad Dharma or Prema Dharma, inaugurated by the Lord Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So here Srila Sai Maharaj said in plural, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur and his disciples, not his disciple. but his disciples. But some are trying to present as Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur and his disciple. But Srila Sai Maharaj said, and his disciples. This we have to be careful. The 8 shlokas completed by the Lord are, so this we will hear maybe tomorrow if there will be time. Tomorrow is on Vaishnav disappearance. And on Thursday we are having program here with Srila Tapasi Maharaj and Brajendranandan Prabhu. So we'll see either tomorrow or then on Friday we can read these Shikastaka verses. Then the introduction is finished and chapter 1 of SRIMAD BHAGAVATAM will start.